So what's up everybody? I hope everybody is doing well. So today I had the opportunity to check out the Artist Project 2024, which is a large exhibition for local artists to showcase their works to each other and as well to the public. It was really overwhelming because I met so many different artists and actually interviewed several of them, which you'll get to see in a minute. And it was also a really humbling experience for me because you get to see the amount of skill and talent that's in the region, in the city. There weren't that many photographers at the exhibit, but I did find a couple and interview them as well. But the vast majority were definitely more traditional fine arts, drawing, painting, some sculpting, mixed media. That's actually kind of where I started in the arts. I did a lot of drawing and painting myself. And you know, none of my stuff is anywhere as good as any of these artists today. But I think it's an important reminder, you know, we have a creative muscle and that creative muscle can be fed in so many different ways. It doesn't just have to be one art form. Most of us are probably photographers, but I don't think that needs to be the only way. And I think that any art form that you participate in, whether that's photography or more traditional visual arts, or making music or film, I think it builds those same creative muscles, and it's like transferable skills into different mediums and different areas of the arts. So I always encourage people, you know, don't just stick to photography when you're taking in the arts. Look at other areas, look at drawings, look at paintings, look at Western art, look at Eastern art, classic stuff, look at modern stuff. I love to attend exhibitions like this, and I often go to local university exhibitions of graduating artists and things like that, because I find that stuff really enriching and inspiring for my own work, not just in traditional forms again, but also in my photography. So definitely check this one out, guys. I know it's a little bit different than usual street photography stuff that I post on this channel, but to me it's all related, and you know, again, everything creative feeds into strengthening those creative muscles. So enjoy this one, guys. So just walking in here, I'm like super overwhelmed. So many booths, so many artists, so much to see. It's gonna take me a while to get through all of this. But, very excited. So can you tell us a little bit about your work and what inspired you to make these beautiful paintings and, you know, delve a little bit deeper into your culture and that sort of thing?
Absolutely. So I use art as my outlet for exploring themes of identity and what it means to be Black in the diaspora. And through that, I've discovered these mask figures and the traditional masquerade, which started in Trinidad and Tobago specifically. And through that, I've been exploring the Moko Jumbi, which is a tall figure that walks on stilts and is the guardian or protector of the village. And through that, I like to activate the masks through those kinds of performances in order to share the message of carnival and that kind of tradition. I also do performances, textile work, and sculpture work as well, which all ties into the mask figures as well. Growing up in Canada, I definitely had a lack of identity and a purpose, I would say, and that would just come from growing up not around people that were like me. And I feel like through that, I want to bring that message of people being like people who are like me, they can, you know, do the things that I'm doing as well, like sharing the art. I think sharing that message, because I don't think there's as many people like us that are doing these kind of things on such a high platform, and being able to showcase these work. I really do feel like it's empowering for the community specifically.
So it looks like a lot of these scenes are like in small towns or suburban areas, it seems like. Is it around Toronto or?
No, I'm from Edmonton,
Okay.
and I paint my neighborhood. I like to show the beauty of the everyday environment.
Yes.
I think a lot of times we are in our home and we don't appreciate it as something that is beautiful.
Yes.
So I am always taking photos and I'm always looking for the beauty of my home.
Yes.
And it's a way to celebrate home. I love home, I love being home, and I like to pay tribute to home.
So are these based off of photographs you took and then you painted after?
Yep, just from my cell phone. A lot of these are when I'm walking my dog or I've taken my child to school and I'm coming back. But there are these moments in a day where light is striking or the sky is really something and I want to capture it, and I take many photos of the same scene.
Yeah.
And I go back and I look, and if there's one that pulls my interest, I will create it into a composition that's captivating, and then I paint it.
What I really like is you're capturing an environment that a lot of people experience, like kind of more suburban life,
Yeah.
but it's like so beautifully done.
Yeah, it definitely gives the nostalgia.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm honestly like super overwhelmed. I'm only on like the fifth row, and I've been here for like an hour and a half, going on 2 hours, stopping and talking to artists, treating their work. A lot of talented people, a lot of local people in around Toronto area, Ontario, some other people from around Canada. It's really, really amazing work, great artists. I'm like in art, photography, design heaven. This is really cool. So can you tell us a little bit about like the process and your thinking that goes into your work?
Yeah, I just go out shooting on the street every day. I always bring my camera with me. I sometimes don't know what provokes me to take a picture, but I try to not think twice if I see something and I bring my camera up and take it. But I do find after I collect all my work it kind of teaches me what I am attracted to. So it ends up being a lot of atmosphere, color, shapes, a mood. I am drawn to like cinematic scenes. I kind of a sense of loneliness, which I like finding in a busy city. I think it's a bit of a visual journal for myself. I am documenting how I feel, what I'm personally going through. I don't really journal or anything like that, so this is kind of my way of journaling. It's kind of documenting my own life.
Yeah.
And it's a very meditative process for me. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a great work.
Thanks.
Thank you.
The subject that I work with is the architecture of public transit, and my goal is to give these spaces, the architecture of public transit, an opportunity to just be looked at as a beautiful object. Because in reality, these spaces, they tend to be ignored because they're very functional. It's just to get people in and out. So that opportunity is missed out.
Yes.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I do a lot of urban photography and stuff. Spaces similar to the stuff people just pass by.
Exactly.
They don't
Like
notice.
alleyways
Yeah.
and
Exactly,
yeah.
yes. That's why it struck my eye. It's great work.
Thank you very much.
So in particular, could you talk about this piece here?
Sure. Yeah. So this is a photo series I did. So I put 10 photos from Israel and Palestine, and then I hand embroidered on each photo. So this is a photo of the wall separating West Bank and Israel. Famous Banksy stencil on this gap, but I wanted to add my thoughts on it, so I actually embroidered some hearts on there. So I wanted to try and put some positivity out there.
Yes.
And if we tear down walls and let people talk to each other, then maybe we could actually have some love out there. So it's kind of the idea behind it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So these are hearts that you added afterwards? To the
Yeah, I
pattern?
looked up close. I actually hand embroidered them with thread, so I actually punctured through the
Yeah.
actual print.
Great.
Some optimism and show some facts and educate people and just
Yes.
open dialogue, right? We need some conversation.
That's great, especially given current events, the state of the world right now.
Yeah, exactly. The series is actually called Embroidered Optimism. Yeah, you can check out my website, David Akio Brands, or my Instagram, David Akio Brands.
Thank you very much. Can you tell us a little bit about your thought process or how you come to creating these beautiful pieces?
Okay, so most of my artworks are influenced by, let's say, folklores, proverbs, symbols. So the folklores that I think like they're universal, I extract the ideas and I turn them into artwork. Most of my artwork actually focus on humanity per se. So I kind of talk about subjects that we all can relate, more or less, yeah. And I tend to use colors a lot. I see colors as a tool for conversation. And I believe that it has the ability to stimulate our emotions. So I like to use colors just as a tool to bring people into the work, and then conversation begins. Right? So yeah,
It's like the hook.
it's the hook. Yes, I was born in Ghana and I grew up here, so I extract a lot from Ghana, but when it comes to folklore, it's all over the world. So it doesn't matter where, as long as the meaning or the story is very interesting, then I'll take it and I'll turn it into artwork. I like conversation pieces. I like for art. I see art as a means of let us have conversation per se, right? So
Yes.
so that's what I do with my artwork. Yeah.
Excellent. Very beautiful work. Thank you.
so much.
Daniella, can you tell us a little bit about your work and maybe some of the common themes and your thought process behind these pieces?
Yeah, so my name is Daniella Williams. I'm a figurative painter based here in Toronto. My work all is oil paintings on canvas, and it's centered around voyeurism and creating intimate moments of mundanity for the viewer to kind of insert themselves into, draw their own conclusions, and hopefully find some moments of recognition within the pieces. Each piece is very much kind of going into a narrative of what might be happening between the subjects, what might be happening with the environment, and how they relate to them. I have a lot of themes of kind of the discomfort that lies within perception that go throughout my work. So I think that it's this very intricate experience to be perceived in the world and to perceive ourselves. So I really try to create paintings that kind of skim that fine line and look into the beauty that exists within that, but also the undeniable tension that is created when we are perceiving somebody's world. Being a young woman and being an artist, I find myself very actively using social media, and I think that the act of sharing images and consuming images is something that we're all familiar with, but it's very complex. So I try to place my work in a context where it's relevant, and there's elements of kind of that discomfort of being perceived that exists with my work. I am a local artist in Toronto, and I think the beauty of being in Toronto is that it's the most diverse place in the world. So myself, I'm half Jamaican, half Italian, so my work really looks at those different elements of my culture. I have a lot of paintings that are set in Italy. A lot of paintings have to do with themes of me being Black, and that are set in Jamaica as well. And I also go throughout Toronto and I catch little snippets of life as I move throughout the city, whether it be on the subway, on the street, and I kind of try to bring all that together into my work.
So is it Delali?
Yeah, Delali.
So Delali, can you give us a little bit of information and background about your process and what's influenced your work?
Yeah, sure. All right, man. Thanks for asking me to do this. My name is Delali Cofie. I'm from Ghana and Nigeria, but I'm born and raised in Ghana, currently living and studying in Toronto. So a lot of my photography tends to focus on like family, home, and self. So I shoot a lot when I'm back home in Ghana visiting family. I do a lot of my like documentary everyday photography in Ghana. That's these 4 images. It's part of a larger series called Replaceable Hours, which is about like the meaning of home, and especially the meaning of home to someone who keeps returning as a changed person into a place that's also changing constantly, right? And then the other images here are more conceptual, more directed works. This is part of my thesis project, which is my newest work. It's part of a project called At the Pondering of Roots I Wish to Meet Me. And it's about weight and the sense of self and the weight of self. So together with a team of 5 women, we made those garments. Yeah, thank you. From my family's old clothes, scrap fabrics, and used bed sheets. It's taking like objects of time and creating this archive in the form of the garment that represents like the weight of self. I don't know, street photography is a focus on like the everyday, but it I don't know, it's sort of based on like emotional cues, like things that strike a chord with me. So I tend to focus a lot on like masculinity, or like evolutions of masculinity from boyhood to manhood. So in the project, there's like a range of I don't know, presentations of men from like little boys to older men, and like looking at that relationship, considering home as an anchoring place where we find like, you know, our identity come into being.
Excellent. So I guess your overall work here is about you growing up as a man and your background,
exactly,
and how that changes through time,
exactly,
transferring from a younger age to an older age, and
exactly
that maturity process and that sort of thing.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And yeah, it's presenting that idea both in candid photography, but also directed conceptual work.
Excellent.
Thank you, man.
Very nice work.
Thank you very much. Means a lot.
Whew. Okay, that was like 5 hours, more than 5 hours walking around these booths, seen some tremendous work, a lot of skill on display, all local artists. It's very humbling walking through and seeing how much skill and talent is in the city and the region. So it's great to have a space for all these people to come together and to meet each other and form community, and also to show off all of their hard work And I hope you guys enjoyed meeting some of the artists and see some of the works and everything. And I'll definitely be back next year for sure.